Last night, the Miami Heat won Game 1 of their second-round series against the 76ers, and even though the Sixers did not have Joel Embiid, this was still a good win for Miami as they came out and made a statement. And today, I want to break down what makes this Miami Heat team so tough and why they have what it takes to win the Eastern Conference. What's up, guys? SCJ here, and if you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to give it a like as it helps out a lot. And if you're new to the channel and or enjoyed the NBA, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. So as mentioned before, last night the Miami Heat got a very nice win over the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 1 of their first round series as the Heat won by a score of 106-92. From the start of the game, Miami knew exactly what they needed to establish, and this game felt like more of the Heat trying to train and practice to establish their game plan going forward, rather than a playoff game, and we're going to get into why that is. Gabe Vincent started the game with a tough pull-up, and it felt like this was Vincent trying to establish himself and show he's not afraid to take these shots going forward. The same way PJ Tucker haunted Kevin Durant in last year's playoffs, the Heat put PJ Tucker on James Harden and applied the full court pressure. Tucker fights with the screen here, stays active on the ball with help behind him, and he really bothered Harden on this play. The Sixers worked to keep all of the Heat's pick and rolls in the side early, but they should have kept everyone at home and kept the defense out of rotation, and it opened up plays like this, where Bam just stays in the pocket and gets the lob. This will be a problem all series for the Sixers, as Coach Spoelstra knew how to use Butler to attack Maxey, and it worked out great for them. The Heat reacted to Harden's playmaking well once again as they put Strus in action here, and you could see it's a show, but it's almost 2 on the ball. They recovered a green popping, and everyone else stays at home. The Sixers tried to go into a zone here, but the Heat got the ball moving and never allowed the Sixers to really get matched up, and it leaves a great shooter open for 3. The issue for the Heat in this series will be that they need to put Herro on the court offensively, as he's their second leading scorer and he led last night's game in scoring as well, but the Sixers know how to attack him with Harden on the opposite end. On the offensive side of the ball though, Herro's scoring and playmaking are so valuable that the Heat will deal with his poor defense on the other end. The same way Harden attacked Herro, Herro knew he could attack Maxey as he sets the screen for Butler and calls for the ball as he takes Maxey into isolation and wins the matchup. Miami's activity on defense here is phenomenal, and it's one of the reasons they're such a dangerous team. There's the double pick and roll for Maxey, and Miami switches and shows a quick double. PJ sticks with Harden. You got Bam playing 2 guys, and you also have the on-ball pressure with help showing, then their defense leads to offense. The Heat have to defend better here, however, as the Sixers kept getting high screens for Harden to help release the full court pressure. The Tucker matchup and activity is great, but it turns right into a switch with Strus, so the Heat have to find the lineups to feel comfortable switching and showing help throughout this series if they want to try and stop or slow down Harden. Harden also kept identifying the matchups that work for him, and that's another defensive area where the Heat will need to improve. The ball movement from the Heat needs to be their bread and butter in this series, as they have the flow right into a handoff with Vincent. Tucker gets it on the roll, Jordan steps up, and Bam snakes at the dunker spot for 2. Also, this play right here is why I think PJ Tucker is probably the most valuable role player in the entire NBA. Miami's defensive activity was once again on display on this play. Tucker pressures the ball, Butler switches on to Harden, and then Herro follows. Butler comes with a double, then you had Herro working to deny the ball. The only issue is you can't let him catch the ball in that scenario. Caleb Martin showed his defensive value as well with a really nice pressure play here. Strus came over late with the help off of Thibault, and the result was a turnover. The empty side pick and roll from Miami was also what they wanted to do all night, as when they did get it, plays ended up like this. It might be a different story though once Embiid returns. But this game, as you can see here, quickly turned into a blowout, and so the last thing I want to break down is Victor Oladipo and his defense. He could potentially be that matchup with Harden to slow him down, and I'll get into that in a second. But right here, Oladipo continued to show his value defensively as he switched onto everybody that he came across. Then right here, we had Oladipo versus Harden. Sixers once again tried to put Herro in a pick and roll, but you can see the adjustment from Miami as there's a switch, double, and rotate. Then it's a one-on-one with early help being shown, and it works out to the Heat's advantage. So obviously, like I mentioned earlier, the Sixers did not have starting center Joel Embiid, but even without starting point guard Kyle Lowry for the Heat, they got a nice Game 1 win over the Sixers to really establish themselves, and this is one series that I'm very interested to see how it plays out the rest of the way. However, I do think without a doubt Miami will win this series. Despite the Heat's flaws, I do think they have what it takes to potentially win the Eastern Conference, like I said before, as they have a very complete team with multiple great defenders, great chemistry, and one of the best head coaches currently in the league. The only thing they'll need to do better going forward is finding lineups and/or matchups that'll work out best for them in this series, as well as their next potential series if they do in fact advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, because we've seen when the Heat really get things going, they can turn into a dangerous team. The only issue for them is that they haven't really been able to figure out how to keep it up for an entire game. So it'll be interesting to see how they do going forward. I want to know though what you guys think about this Heat team, any of their players, or anything we talked about in this video down below in the comment section. If you like this video, then make sure to give it a like as it helps out a lot. And if you're new to the channel and or enjoy the NBA, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. That way you stay up to date with all the newest content on my channel. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm SCJ, and I am out. Peace.